Om Shanti and greetings of peace. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you for joining us this evening, giving some of your valuable time so that you can find new or additional tools to help you cope in a world that is going haywire, a world that is filled with uncertainty. And because of the external factors, there is a more important reason for paying some attention, the inner work on developing our inner power, our willpower. We all know that when we are happy, we can work hours and hours and not feel tired. But when we are upset, angry, and the impact it has on our body. I know everyone wants to be happy all the time. We all want to be peaceful all the time. But the circumstances, events, and individuals that we interact with cannot promise us constant and stable all the time. So we have to develop that art of staying happy inside. When we can inspire someone who is unhappy to be happy, or when we can stay happy, regardless if we are in company of others who are sad. Either way, to stay happy in an atmosphere, a situation, in the company of others who are sad, or to help and inspire someone through our vibrations, through our thoughts, through our guidance. If we can help someone else to become happy, it is only then we have earned the certificate of being happy. At that time, we have learned the art of staying happy no matter what. And so, therefore, in order to develop that art, in order to conquer a sad situation or inspire people around me to be happy. To do that, first, I have to accept that there will be situation and people in our lives who has come here to help us to develop that art, to help us to conquer our weaknesses, to push us beyond our comfort zone, to help us to claim the right to be happy. I have to earn that right. I have to be worthy of being happy. And so, for that to happen, all of us have to develop some inner power. And this is where meditation is that method of developing powerful thoughts, positive thoughts, thoughts that are elevated, thoughts that enhances the well-being, thoughts that help us to develop self-value, self-worth. Because we all know they are thoughts, when we create them, they can deplete our happiness and our peace. And we know also that there are thoughts that we create that can energize, that can bring back that state of peace and happiness. So, happiness and peace and all else that we want is in our own mind. So the mind is the venue where everything plays out. Everything plays out. The mind is that field of action where my whole life takes place in my mind. I can spend my whole life feeling content, happy, and peaceful by taking care of my mind. And I can spend my whole life feeling discontented and miserable by neglecting my mind. Because mind is that sacred space. And the original state of the mind is calm, clear, and pure. That's the original state of the mind. Can you picture a child's mind? What is in the mind of the child? Does that child entertain negativity, animosity, jealousy, ego, anger? No. So the original state of every one of us, our original state is peace and love and purity. There was no impurity when we descend on this earth, no impurity whatsoever. And so it is not a tall order, it's not a huge task to bring back my mind to that state of cleanliness, purity, calmness, serenity. It's the natural state. And this is why meditation enables us to develop the power of thought, thoughts that I want to create, thoughts that can enhance me, and not thoughts that are reactive based on what I hear or see. So when I meditate, I'm gaining control over my mind by taking back the control in my own hand. Mind is described as a wild horse, and all that the horse wants to do, all that the horse wants to do is to ride. But I, the rider of that horse, wants to ensure my safety. I want to ensure that wherever that horse take me, there will not be potholes, steep climbs, dangerous corner, so that I can risk falling and hurting myself. Rider do? The rider takes the rein of the horse in his hand. And through controlling the reins, the rider can control the path where the horse go. And in controlling that path, the rider guarantees that he or she will not have a fall. So what is the reins of the mind that we have to hold on to and control? As soon as we hear something, our mind goes there, and thoughts, feelings, and emotions emerge based on what I hear. As soon as I see something, mind goes there and gets disturbed or happy based on what I hear. So I can't control situations and I can't change people, but I can control how I handle situation and how I deal with people. That power is in my hand. So I need to take care of where the horse of my mind goes and what engages the mind. This is why there's a saying, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, think no evil, and do no evil. So mind, the horse, is under our control. We are the owner of the mind. We are the master of the horse. And so we have to act responsibly. Today we are going to talk about the 8 powers that we all have. And it's very much obviously connected with the mind because it's connected with our thoughts. And let's look at the power to tolerate. It's the ability to respond to external and internal events positively, not allowing myself to be affected by anything. And the example I want to use is a tree. A tree laden with fruits wants to offer that fruit to anyone. But sometimes, in order to take that fruit from the tree, some revert to stoning the tree so that they can access the fruit. So even though the tree is offering the fruits and we are stoning the tree to get those fruits, what does the tree do? It lets go of it, the fruit, when it's ripened. It let go of it. And therefore, the tree offer fruits in return, even if we stone it. The tree doesn't stone us back, but give us sweet fruits in return. In the Bible, there's a beautiful saying, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. This is tolerance, to continue to have mercy, love, and forgiveness for the one who stones you, and not give them hurtful words or pain in return. But sometimes we feel that if we don't say anything in return, but we are hurt inside, then that's not called forgiveness. That's not called merciful. Forgiveness and mercy means I offer what I need to offer. And whether it's rejected or not, I continue to offer. I don't change my attitude. Because if you can forget the pain or insult, you don't work through that insult and that pain, you cannot begin to forgive. Many times we hear people say, I will forgive you, but I will never forget. When we do that, we are giving ourselves permission to feel hurt and pain. We're giving ourselves pain by saying, I will not forget you for what you did to me. So, what you're telling your mind, it's okay to take pain. Here we are taught in this organization, never give sorrow and never take sorrow. Sometimes we do pay attention not to give sorrow, but we get disturbed and affected by other people's behavior. And we think it's okay to feel pain. No, nobody can hurt you. Nobody can insult you. Nobody can disrespect you unless you choose to allow them to. So don't give sorrow, but don't take sorrow. Check ourselves. how much of the time we are feeling disturbed and hurt and affected, how much when we are affected and disturbed, how much of that is coming from the outside. And we choose to allow our feelings and emotions to be disturbed by other people's behavior or a situation outside. So don't just, not only don't give sorrow, but don't give yourself permission to take sorrow. Be like the tree, even when stone offer sweet fruits in return. So power of tolerance could also be power of love, like how a mother tolerates waking up at any hour of the night and nurse the baby, rock the baby back to sleep, get the feed for the baby, carry the baby in the arms, first in the stomach for 9 months, then in the arms, then on the shoulder, then on the waist, and then holding the baby and carrying the baby wherever you go without complaining and without feeling this is not fair. Why would a mother do all of that? And I'm not excluding fathers. Fathers also help tremendously in raising the child, maybe in different ways, but sometimes the father even carried the child on the shoulder, wanting the child to be higher than himself. So both parents sacrifice on the basis of love. So that's the power to tolerate, which we all have to armor ourselves with. We have to develop the art to tolerate. The second power, the power to cooperate. It is the ability to give attention and time and experience and wisdom in the service of others. Sharing your time, your thoughts, your wisdom, your experience for the service of others. And an example I want to use to demonstrate power of cooperation is like this world today. It can be described as a mountain of sorrow, problems, challenge, whatever you may want to describe it for. But it's a mountain of issues, and we all have to give one finger of cooperation, just one finger. And that one finger of cooperation is to lift the mountain of sorrow from this world. And how do we do that? Again, we have to check our own self and change ourselves. Don't check others and don't try changing other people. Check the self and change the self. And if we all check ourselves and change ourselves, how long it will take for the mountain of problems to go away. So instead of saying, when you change, I will change. If you change, I will change. There was an example in which everyone was invited to pour a glass of milk in a pond. And someone had the idea, if I pour instead a glass of water, still there will be a pond of milk. And then a second person had the same thought. And the following day, they found a pond of water. Everyone had the same thought. But who started the cycle of negative thinking? Who? Is it my thought and someone else pick up that? Or someone else's thought and I picked it up? And I also decided to pour a glass of water. So there was another little story, analogy I want to use. There was a forest fire, and all the animals came out of the forest, and looking at the fire, they were thinking, what and how can we put the fire out? And a bird flew by at the same time, saw the fire, flew to the nearest pond, and collected as many drops of water he could, and flew back to the fire, poured the water, and he went flying back and forth, collecting water and pouring it on the fire. So the animals looking on was thinking, how is it possible that this bird thinks he can put this fire out with those few drops of water? According to the story, an angel passed by, saw the effort of the bird, showered rain, and put the fire out. So the lesson is that the bird was not supposed to put the fire out. Otherwise, God would have given him an elephant trunk, or God would have given him some bigger vessel. The bird was only to do what he was supposed to do and what he could have done. And he did just that. So if we all just do what is within our capacity, then we can bring peace and happiness back into this beautiful world that we have gotten as a gift. And let's look at another power, the power to pack up. We are all on a journey. There's a song, this world is not our home. We're just passing through. We're only here for a short time, and we have to leave sometimes suddenly, unexpectedly. So, therefore, knowing that I am on a journey back home, I have to be ready, ever ready, because suddenly I may have to go. And if I am leaving, how do I pack my suitcase? What is in that final suitcase that I'm carrying on board on my last flight? It is our good karmas and our good sanskaras. For those who don't know, the word sanskaras means habit. Habits that are created and stored in my subconscious mind. And since mind is part of the soul, when the soul departs, it's taking with it all the past deep rooted sanskars, all the past deep rooted habits, and it's taking the fruit of the seeds it has sown in this life and all the previous lives before. So only two things we need to carry. Good, a stock of good action and a stockpile of good habits. So that in my next costume and my next role, I will have all those good sanskars and I will reap the fruit of all the seeds I have sown yesterday. So my tomorrow is determined by the seeds I sowed yesterday as well as today. So is my bag ready? Do I have a stockpile of good karmas? Or do I feel it's my right to take and take and take until I drop? My role here is just to acquire, take, and take and take as much, only to discover when it's the time to enjoy it, I have not learned the art of being happy and peaceful. And so, though I'm surrounded by everyone and everything that can enhance my happiness, I don't know how to stay happy from inside. And this is what we witness all the time outside there. So many. They have everything, but they have not learned the art of being happy. And so their happiness is dependent on the stability of everything outside. So be ever ready, because suddenly I might be called. And if I'm carrying anything that is illegal, that is not good karmas, that is not good sanskars, the custom officers will seize it. They may delay me. They may charge me a fee, and I may miss my flight. So let's be ever ready. Check every day. Did I give or did I take only? That's what we need to check at the end of every day. And here's another important power, the power to accommodate. And that power is the ability to expand and accept the presence, the ideas, and desires of others. Just like the ocean and all the rivers, they flow into that ocean, bringing with themselves garbage and all the stuff that is found thrown into water. But what does the ocean do? It expands itself to accommodate everything. Whether some of the river brings salty water, murky water, sweet water, water that is filled with garbage, the ocean accepts them all. And then the ocean selects the pearls, the rubies, the gems, the valuable, and it stores it deep into the bottom of the ocean bed. And all the garbage, all the shells, all that which is not useful, it gently throws it back on the shore. So in life, every day, we are going to encounter situations and people. Take that which can inspire, motivate, and enhance you from that one or anyone. And then that which is not useful, just gently throw it aside. Don't allow it to enter the sacred space of your mind. Don't allow it to disturb you. Just put it aside. Just like just like water adapt itself into a container, whether it's a square container, a round container, just like water in a river, whether people throw boulders, big rocks, water continues to flow, never stop flowing. So never stop being who you are whilst you embrace everyone else. That's the power to accommodate. All these powers that we mentioned can be developed in the practice of meditation, because all these powers are in fact thoughts which we develop, positive, powerful, productive thoughts, that I am on a journey back home. I have to be ready, ever ready, because suddenly I may have to go. And if I am leaving, how do I pack my suitcase? What is in that final suitcase? that I'm carrying on board on my last flight. It is our good karmas and our good sanskaras. For those who don't know, the word sanskaras means habit. Habits that are created and stored in my subconscious mind. And since mind is part of the soul, when the soul departs, it's taking with it all the past deep rooted sanskars, all the past deep rooted habits, and it's taking the fruit of the seeds it has sown in this life and all the previous lives before. So only two things we need to carry. Good, a stock of good action and a stockpile of good habits. So that in my next costume and my next role, I will have all those good sanskars and I will reap the fruit of all the seeds I have sown yesterday. So my tomorrow is determined by the seeds I sowed yesterday as well as today. So is my bag ready? Do I have a stockpile of good karmas? So be ever ready because suddenly I might be called. And if I'm carrying anything that is illegal, that is not good karmas, that is not good sanskars, the custom officers will seize it. They may delay me. They may charge me a fee and I may miss my flight. So let's be ever ready. Check every day. Did I give or did I take only? That's what we need to check at the end of every day. And here's another important power, the power to accommodate. And that power is the ability to expand and accept the ideas and desires of others. Just like the ocean and all the rivers, they flow into that ocean, bringing with themselves garbage and all the stuff thrown into water. But what does the ocean do? It expands itself to accommodate everything. Whether some of the river brings salty water, murky water, sweet water, water that is filled with garbage, the ocean accepts them all. And then the ocean selects the pearls, the rubies, the gems, the valuable, and it stores it deep into the bottom of the ocean bed. And all the garbage, all the shells, all that which is not useful, it gently throws it back on the shore. So in life, every day, we are going to encounter situations and people. Take that which can inspire and enhance you, and then that which is not useful, just gently throw it aside. Don't allow it to enter the sacred space of your mind. Don't allow it to disturb you. Just like water adapt itself into a container, whether it's a square container, a round container, river, whether people throw boulders, big rocks, water continues to flow, never stop flowing. So never stop being who you are whilst you embrace everyone else. That's the power to accommodate. All these powers that we mentioned can be developed in the practice of meditation. Power to discriminate is the ability to discern and separate that which is true from that which is false. So when I develop art of discerning, discriminating right from wrong, and protect myself from the influence of that which is wrong and hold on to that which is true. So do I know what is right and what is wrong? Do I have that clean, clear, shrewd intellect to make the right decision? Just like a jeweler, as soon as you take a piece of jewelry, and an experienced jeweler will immediately be able to decide that it is raw gold and this is real gold. This is very low carat gold. This is a very high carat gold. So the ability to discern, that sharp intellect, that can happen when one meditates. There will be such cleanliness in the intellect, such clarity that I will be able from a distance recognize right from wrong. And so again, we can develop this power. And then let's look at the power to face. It is the ability to confront and resolve external and internal obstacles. Every day we wake up, we don't know what the day will hold, what challenges we will be confronted with. So we have to develop the power to face. Death is something that we may want to avoid thinking about, but death is inevitable. And so facing it, accepting it, confronting it, changes is happening because the law of entropy is in operation, and the law of entropy affects the 5 elements, nature, matter, and therefore it affects my body. I get older, and therefore it is possible that my organs will not function that efficiently. My memory may not function that well. So accept that reality. Face it. Don't be in denial. Face old age. Face death. Face change. Face the reality that you are not here forever. I am not here forever. Nothing will be here forever. I have to leave. You have to leave. Just as I came, I have to go. So face everything and knowing that it is for our own benefit. Every car that we own will one day start breaking down, start getting old, and we'll have to acquire a new car. A house will one day be called old, and no matter how much I renovate, I'll have to accept that I will have to start looking for creating a new house. So these are challenges, and we have to learn to face them. And when I meditate, I get such resilience, such courage, such inner strength that I can embrace everything and anything and anyone without losing my peace or my happiness. So that is power to, I'm looking at the time, I'm almost done. So power to judge. The power to judge is the ability to assess rather. It's the ability to assess the quality of choices, decision, and actions I take. For example, when we think of the power of judgment, we think of a scale, and the scale must be held in balance. It must not tilt. And I guess that's what judgment system is all about. Justice system is all about maintaining a balance of law and order, of being loving and detached. If a judge that has to make a decision allows himself or herself to be influenced by the prosecutor or the defendant, by allowing his thoughts, feelings, and emotions to interfere with what he knows is right or wrong, then he can't pass a fair judgment. So that judge have to stay in balance, not influenced by his feelings, emotions, but listening to both sides presenting. He has to apply the law and not apply the law based on his mindset by the influence of his feelings and emotions. He has to apply law. It's like the way we deal with our family members. Do we deal the same way with other people's family? My child and your child. How do we deal with my child and your child? Is there a difference? My property and your property, my rights and your rights. Do we maintain a balance? Do we treat everyone in the same way? Interact with everyone in the same way? Or do we allow our emotions and feelings influence our judgment power? So we have to stay in balance, not tilting. They say if you sleep too much, it's not good. If you sleep too less, it's not good. Eat too much is not good. Eat too less is not good. You have to balance the scale, not allowing yourself to be influenced at all. And I think we still have one other power. Let's see. I think we have the power to withdraw. And like a tortoise, when it senses danger, it withdraws its head. So, what do we do when we sense danger? Can we withdraw? Can we look and yet not see? Or look and only see that which is beneficial? Can we listen and only hear that which is useful? Do we have that ability to withdraw from our senses? We can do that when we recognize that I'm a soul playing the role of a parent, the role of a spouse, the role of a professional, but I am not my role. I'm using this body, but I'm not my body. So, this art of detachment allows me to be able to step back when I need to step back and get involved when I need to get involved. So, being loving when I need to and detached when I need to. Practicing stepping in, becoming introverted, silent, still, and there's time when I need to interact and get involved with everyone. Can I withdraw myself? Can I practice detachment and love? Because you can't practice detachment without love. We learned in school. Back in my days, of course, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. In this generation, the law is different. If you dare say anything to the child has the right to call the cops on you. So it's a different generation altogether. But you have to be loveful when you need to, and you have to be lawful when you need to. If a mother just be too loving or a father too loving, there's the risk of spoiling that child. And if that parent is too lawful, there's a risk of hurting the child. So the balance of being loving and yet lawful, loving and yet detached. Just like a lotus flower, it grows in the mud, but the root rises above the water and adds beauty to the same environment that is surrounded. Can I be loving and yet detached? So all of these 8 powers are necessary if we want to develop the art of staying peaceful and happy and contented at all times, of staying happy inside, so that whatever is going on outside, it has to go on. But I must learn to stay stable and happy from inside, never allowing anything and anyone from outside to influence my state of mind. And so I encourage all of you to learn to meditate so that you can develop all 8 powers. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.